Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Who am I kidding? I saw you. I have
Eyes everywhere.
Anyways, you probably heard of Ludum Dare, right? Maybe even the 40 plus 7 variety of Ludum Dare? Well, yeah, I participated in that. In fact, you can see my submission right here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It is beautiful.
Isn't it?
Alright, well, I should probably start talking about how I made the game, because that's what this video is entirely about. So basically, me and the mods of my Discord server, link in description, are all really good friends, and we previously did the Danny's Basement Jam together, and we were like, oh wow, that was actually pretty fun, we should do it again. And BAM! The dev god Danny himself brought Ludum Dare upon us. Well, I mean, technically he didn't do anything, but saying that made it sound more dramatic, so I kinda just had to. Anyways, so the theme was announced. Stuck in a loop, eh? So basically, my life. When my team and I... Oh, right, it was just me and Nickeroni in that call. The other half of our team was quote-unquote busy. But the call went something along these lines.
Okay, hear me out. An escape room, but it's a job.
You're hired. And with that, we went to work on our game about turning off a time machine. Now with this kind of game, it was going to be fairly easy to code. So I kind of just started with the art first. I spent 3 hours making the sprites in A-Sprite, and then this happened. Now you see, this would have been bad if it weren't for A-Sprite's recovery file feature, and if it didn't have that, I would have lost 3 hours of my work, which I was really not in the mood to redo at the time. The first bit of actual coding I did was soon after that, and I made sure to save literally everything so that if I ever had a blue screen of death again, I'd be fine. I managed to make a simple UI system for all the interactable objects, and added this super fancy code box. And then promptly played Among Us for an hour, because when you have a deadline, you, say it with me, procrastinate. The beginning of day 2 was mainly focused on adding more art. Taha, our artist, made a very slick looking tile set and an adorable little lady person. He randomly called her Sasha one time and the name just kinda stuck. After I'd imported all the sprites, I quickly realized that there was no actual plan for how the escape room gameplay was gonna function. So I spent a solid hour drawing out this super complicated graph of every single clue and code that would connect, and it was branching and all this stuff, and in the end we only used like half of that. I'm not crying. You're crying. Once I actually knew what the heck was going on, I started implementing all the important elements of the game, like the table, and the closet, and the desk, and the cabinet, and the whiteboard, and you know what, you get the point. Then there was the code and lockbox. This was a simple UI element that would appear before you open an interactable object if that interactable object had a code attached to it. This was fairly easy to implement. I simply had to use a code string attached to the interactable object and then had a current code string attached to the code box. Whenever the current code and the code attached to the interactable object were equal, the lock would go away. Now, in some areas of the game, I needed the player to use an item, so I started creating a simple item pickup feature that would later be used for things like the acid and the blacklight. It was pretty straightforward with the code, but I thought it would help by changing the sprite a little so you would know what you can and cannot click on. In the end, did it help? Well, that's debatable. One of the objects you had to pick up was this teeny tiny key in the lab coat in one of the lab coats in the closet. And with the sprite change, not many people could see it, even with it. So no matter what I do, I will always and forever be an idiot. Kerf, our composer, on the other hand, is definitely not an idiot. While I was off struggling to create a simple code thing, he managed to create a banger of a theme, and since the game loop was only about a minute long, the song only had to be a minute long as well. That made it easier on him. By the way, you should definitely check Kerf out. His SoundCloud is in the description. He has some amazing music down there. Definitely check him out. Now, music is pretty cool and all, but have you ever heard of black lights? Neither have I. Anyways, adding black lights, or I guess a singular black light, was a lot easier than I originally thought. Originally, I had this really complicated way of doing it, but in the end I just had the same colored background for a secret message, and then while using the black light, the background turns a different color, and in this case a purple to make it seem like it was an actual black light, allowing you to see the message. Again, a lot simpler than I thought it would be. Okay, so on day 3, it was kind of Monday, and I had school. So can we skip a few hours ahead? All right, thanks. So anyway, by this point, I only had like 3 hours left to do, and still a ton of stuff to get done. I didn't do anything. Just kind of watched YouTube and thought about my impending doom that was about to fall upon me. Realize my slight problem, and start coding and adding the final polish as fast as I possibly can. Absolute chaos. I built the game. Game is still not built.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Wait, what? Wait, hold up. They have an extra hour for submissions? Why did no one tell me that? Alright, guys. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. You're freaking awesome. Anyways, I hope you liked this Ludum Dare video. I hope I can do more Ludum Dare and videos about it in the future. But for now, see ya everyone.